Okay, I'm excited to try this for the very first time. I'm going to do a pour painting, and I've mixed up all the colors that I want to use, and I've added a pouring medium into them. I've done one-to-one paint. This is my base coat, but one-to-one paint to pouring medium, and then I've added a little bit of water so that they're kind of running off of there. I don't know if you can see. Maybe I'll go like this so you can see it a little better. See how it runs right off of there? Okay. And I've also added silicone pouring oil, several drops into each one. Like I did a squirt into each one, stirred it a little bit, and then a squirt again, and then stirred it again. So before I put my base coat on, I'm going to use this as it's going to be a straight pour, and I'm going to layer my colors in there. So I think I'm just going to start with my silver, and I've already stirred them really well, but I like to stir it just a little bit more each time. And the thinner your layers, the more your colors will do something different. So that's what I was told. They'll get cells and things like that. So thin layers. And if you drop it from a distance, I was told that you would also get some cool layering effects. Maybe some cells, like I'm going to swirl that one around, and I'm going to do the gold. Ooh, that one's sinking. Let's see what that does. And I think I need to line these up so that I get a little bit different look. Okay, a little bit of white in there. Okay, and I think I started with my silver, so I think I need to line these up so that I get my pour going different. Stuck to my finger. That was not good. And I just keep layering them in here. I may not use it all, but this way we have some different looks. I'm really hoping this purple does something because it's actually got glitter in it. So I think that'll have an interesting effect. This that I'm pouring in now is supposed to be brass, but it kind of looks like pewter with a little bit of brass in it. So we'll see what that looks like. I think that's probably going to be plenty. And I forgot to go get a straw, but I'll just do the pour first, and then I'll go let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll go get a straw. So I'm going to do a base coat of this blue, and just going to pour it right around. And I'm going to use a tool to spread it out and get it moved throughout here. It looks like my canvas is sagging in the center, so that may have an effect on what this does. I don't want it to all go to the center, so we'll see what happens. Now I mixed up quite a bit here of this blue, and I'm having to scrape it a little bit. So, and this is a 16 by 20 canvas. So we're just going to move this around. Oh, and I have this canvas set up on push pins. So I just pushed push pins into each corner of the back of the canvas so that it would stand up on the off of the surface so that these drips can just go onto my wax paper. I'm going to pull it down this way a little bit. I'm getting a ton of bubbles. I don't know if that's because I poured it fast. This is just kind of a test to see how this works. And I have gloves on because this is going to be messy business. Okay, so I've got my base coat on. And I'm just going to start pouring to see what happens here. Okay. Now we're just going to move it around, see if this works. I think maybe I should have had a little more white in there. Ooh, it's interesting though. It's definitely not flowing as much as I suspected it would, but it kind of looks cool. And that could be because I'm not using Floetrol. I'm using pouring medium from Saks Arts and Crafts. Okay, I'm going to let it sit there for a minute while I go get a straw. And here we go. Let's try this. Oops, touched my canvas. Okay, and then I'm going to move it around some more. I accidentally grabbed a hold of my wax paper when I went to pick it up. Okay, yeah, it's not flowing off the edges like I thought it would, so, but I don't want it to all flow away because I want my colors to be there. So maybe you do need more colors to flow on there. I'm going to try Maybe I'll just add color as I go here. So my gold and my brass kind of just look tan. They really don't look very gold. So let's see what add some of this red over here. Maybe I'll just drip it on there. Interesting. Kind of gives it a fiery look. I think I'm going to put a little more on the edge here. Wax paper sticking to it because it's buckled up because I got a fold in my paper. Kind of liking what this blue is doing here. Just dripping white on there. See if I can see any of my silver. I really don't see any silver, so I'm gonna see what my silver can do here. My silver seems to be a little thicker. It's not as thin as the other. see what I can get happening here. Looks like that middle part is still wanting to flow, but my edges are not flowing very well. Like I said, maybe it's because of the Floetrol not being added. I'm still waiting for that to be shipped. I really love this blue, what this blue is doing. It's really cool looking. I suppose there's such a thing as adding too many colors. So I may have just added too many colors. I'm going to kind of try and clean up the sides a little bit so that it doesn't just have a bulge on the side. And I'm going to take these off and just get some more so I can have clean ones. So maybe next time, 3 or 4 colors, just to try something different. Now I did see on some videos that some people used like a torch to pop bubbles, and I may attempt that. Let's see. I'm just kind of messing with the silver and the blue just because I want that to be more on the blue side rather than the silver side. Get a little color here because there isn't any color on that edge. That's one thing nice about having it up in the air is that you can work on your edges and not have to touch them. And I know normally it's supposed to drip over the edge and you don't have to worry about it, but mine, even though I made it as thin as I thought you were supposed to make it, it's not very thin. It's kind of looking cool though. I think I want to add a little gold here. Wow, that gold is hardly moving. I don't know if you can see that moving. I could turn it this way, I suppose. I just don't want it to drip on the floor while I'm moving it. just have to be a little more patient with it. It's kind of crazy looking. So what I'm going to do is stop there for now. I learned a lot on that first one, that you don't want to add more colors than you need, but I will put the heat gun to this and see if it pops those bubbles and kind of flattens it out a little bit. Okay, so here's my finished product. Now it's super shiny. I should set it up, but I can't really set it up. Oh, maybe I can get the glare off of it. There we go. A little bit of glare off of it. Ooh, sorry. It's hard to see backwards. And I took a heat gun to it to pop a bunch of the bubbles, and it really worked well, except that my heat gun took too much power and blew the circuit. So this is as far as I got, and I'll just have to wait and see it dry tomorrow, and then I will post a picture of the final piece. Okay, so this is the final piece, and you can flip it around. You can see that it's super shiny. It's not exactly how I expected it to be, but I like it anyway. I think I would want it displayed this way, just because I like how it looks. But the thing that I learned is don't have too many colors. Now, I've watched a bunch of those videos that have tons and tons of colors, it seems, and no more than I did, it seemed like. But theirs turned out way better. Of course, I didn't use the same kind of medium as they did, so that's probably why. Okay, but I still like it. And of course, I used metallic paints that didn't turn out the way I expected. I used a brass color that just kind of turned out kind of browny. I'm not real impressed with that. And I did throw those areas of gold over the top. Now, in my camera, I think it looks more yellow than gold, but in real life, it looks gold. But I do like how it turned out anyway. Next time, I will use the Floetrol because it finally just came in the mail today. So I will try a video with the Floetrol, and I will actually mix it up in front of you so you can see the recipe that I'm using to make it.